So you're saying that students have to sell themselves in a very good way. How would you say they should do that?
Well, I can say the last four people that, for the last four cohorts, everybody who I ended up hiring here all had a video. They had a very good resume, and they actually had some pretty good references too. So the more you can do to sell yourself, the easier it will be. I'll be very honest, I mean, for the ones who did send a resume and that either the resume didn't look good, the font, there were spelling mistakes, there was no in-depth information. You need to do more than that. If you don't have a background, if you don't have real-life job experience, you need to do something more. You need to take yourself to the next level. And that is, of course, by doing a video. And the more entertaining the video is, I mean, don't oversell yourself, because obviously if I end up hiring you and you come over here and you can't do what you say you can do, you know, you'll pretty much be going home on the next airplane pretty soon. So you want to make sure that you sell yourself and you're being honest, but you want to make it entertaining. We want to know a little bit about your character. We want to know, especially for a school setting, how you're going to fit into the institution, because that's a big thing, is fitting into the institution. You're coming to a school. Most of the schools that you're going to be going to are going to be expecting projects, and we're going to be treating you like a professional intern, somebody who's going to get a job. We're also going to be providing you with the educational opportunity that maybe you would not get if you were at a beach club resort in, I don't know, in the Caribbean, or at a club or someplace else where they're really looking for you to do more of the things that are stereotypical intern jobs, getting coffee, doing the photocopying, doing that kind of stuff. You've got big projects, you have a big budget, and we want to make sure that you have that opportunity to get those things done.
Yeah, so now you have summed up quite some competences that you're looking for in an intern, and how they should be able to get to you. So now I'm very curious how you have experienced the previous years of interns.
My previous years? All three previous cohorts did an excellent job. We're kind of sitting in one of the areas right now where last year's cohort ended up doing one of the walls. Down the hallway is another section. We've got numerous videos that have been done in the past. And of course, our very first people, Gwen and Sofika, kind of set the foundation for it. So they did an outstanding job. It was something that was very new to our school. Our administration was a little bit skeptical of whether or not they wanted to have 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-old students coming from the Netherlands, from Amsterdam. Do we want them at our school? What exactly are they going to be able to do? And thankfully, they did an outstanding job, because of course, the work that you do is all based on, reflects the reputation of your university. So if you guys don't produce, it basically takes your next cohort out from having the opportunity to come to our school next year. So the people who sold it for the first year and the second year made it very easy. Now it's just a rubber stamp to get you guys here. Hey, we want to bring the interns from Amsterdam again. Okay, no problem, sure. Make sure you get all the paperwork in by, you know, tomorrow or the next day. Easy.
And do you think it was possible for them to fulfill all these projects without good supervision?
I don't know. I would say that chances of them getting all the projects done that we do here at AS Moscow without pushing is probably difficult. I don't know if I don't know if other schools do or other places do as many projects as we do over here. The amount of work that people have to do here is a lot. I mean, right now, people are going from learning software that they've never looked at before. You're going from zero, no knowledge, to within 2 weeks, you have to be incredibly competent at using Adobe Photoshop, using Illustrator. I mean, yeah, people definitely need to bring their A game if they're coming here to this school in order to get the projects done. This is not necessarily going to be a vacation by any means. You're going to be working hard. We're going to have the opportunity for you to have some downtime, but at the end of the day, there's a deadline and everything has to be done by the deadline in order for us to notice that there's success in the program.
Okay, so if I'm correctly, what I'm getting from this story is that there is definitely supervision necessary for the projects. What is your role as a supervisor? How exactly do you want to guide your students, and how do you believe students will get the best out of their internship?
That's a great question. So, I want people to come here and have a good time, and I want them to have a good time in Moscow, and I want them to have a good time at the school. I think if I had the opportunity, what you guys have right now in having these internships, if somebody would have told me or given me a little bit of a heads up on some of the information or some of the tricks of getting ahead, or ways of speeding up, going through, making all the mistakes that I made, that it took me 10 years to figure out, you guys have an opportunity in 10 weeks to get 10 years worth of experience in right away. So to have that opportunity, I think is invaluable. Ask your question again, because I think I went off in a different direction.
So it is more like this question will support the upcoming interns that will apply for other places as well. Like, what should they be looking for in a supervisor?
I would say if you really want to get the most out of everything, you want to get somebody who is going to be pushing you. Somebody who has a lot of projects, and I think somebody who has a track record of having successful projects that actually ended up getting done. I think each one of the cohorts that we ended up coming here, I would say each one of them, when they looked at the projects, did not actually think they would be able to complete those projects or do them at the level that ends up on our walls and on our websites. So that is something that you really need to be looking for as an intern. Am I going to get the quality of supervision and instruction over the next 10 weeks that's going to take me to the next place? Yeah, I think you want a supervisor who's going to push you and who's going to make sure that you guys are going to get the most that you can out of here. I think our cohorts that we had 2 years ago, both of them would be able to walk away from this internship and immediately get employed for 2 of the projects that they got. Working on Photoshop, working on Illustrator, those are 2 huge skills that you can take immediately and add to your resume. And an employer is going to look at you and you're hired immediately. So we definitely do push people here, and we expect you guys to do the work, for sure. Yeah.
That's great. So I have one more final question.
Okay.
Do you have any tips for students that are currently in the Netherlands that want to go abroad?
That want to go abroad?
Yes.
Go abroad. It's easy. What about for the ones who don't want to go abroad?
Stay in the Netherlands.
I guess you could. Here's the thing. If you're really looking to be employable someplace else, if you have more influence, if more things are able to influence you, and if an employer is looking at you that you have been in different locations around the world, you have been to different cultures, you have seen different things, this is invaluable. This is why people want to hire you. I mean, the Netherlands is fantastic. I like to go there for a vacation. I like to go there to visit friends. But if I was to stay in that same area, I'm just getting the information that is near me. There might be companies that are coming in and influencing some things to make me a little better. But, you know, there's 180 plus countries in the world. Everybody looks at things in a different way. To get that information from different people, to learn from different people is fantastic. I grew up in Canada. We have sports programs and a sport industry there. But by no means do we do it amazing. I look at my American friends next door. How do they do things? Grab what's good from them, take it, put it in my backpack, and go to the next place. Go to the UK. They do things much different, but there's a few things that they do outstanding. I'm going to put those in my backpack. I moved to Africa. Wow, that is a completely different way of looking at sport and the way things are done. I take things out of that country and put it in my backpack. I go to India. I go visit other people in the Emirates, Russia. You name it, China, every place I can possibly go. And the more experiences I have, the more invaluable or the more impressive my resume ends up becoming. So it definitely helps. when I'm looking for somebody who I'm hiring for this internship or I want to take, I want to see that you have international experience. I want to see that you've at least traveled somewhere, that you've experienced other cultures, because I want you to bring some of those ideas to what we're doing over here, and hopefully you'll better our school, and in the future you'll better a company that you're working for.
That's very great. I think this will be the end of this interview. Thank you for your time.
You are so welcome. Thank you.